everyone, and welcome on back to the channel. Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds has just been announced and is Guild Wars 2's 5th expansion. In today's video, we are going to be talking about all the different features that are included and coming with Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds. But before we progress, I would like to let you know that we have a link down in the description for you to pre-purchase and pre-order Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds. You can get certain tiers that give you some special items and cosmetics, and just to secure your spot in the Isles of Janthir. I'm gonna be there. Are you gonna be there? I hope you're gonna be there. You're looking lovely today, by the way. Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds is an expansion that holds some of the most long-awaited feature updates for the game. Primarily player housing, which is a feature coming in this expansion, but also Raid Wing number 8. There are some really big, heavy-hitting items in this list, but let's go down the list and kind of give you a brief overview of what is to be expected in Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds. So with the 5th expansion and the 2nd expansion in this new format for the expansion products, where we're getting an expansion every single year, we are going to be venturing into the Isles of Janthir, which is a territory in Guild Wars 2, or in the world of Guild Wars, where we have never been before. We never went there in Guild Wars 1, and we have yet to go there in Guild Wars 2. But all of that is soon going to change come August 20th. We're going to be heading to the Isles of Janthir alongside some of the Astral Ward to kind of better establish a foothold there and touch base so we can have that string from Expansion 4 to Expansion 5 to help carry us. In the trailer, we saw people and figures such as Anise and Malice Shadow, or Sword Shadow, which is the Imperator for the Ash Legion. And some familiar faces are always nice to see, how they're going to pop up in the story and what they're going to be doing. We also, interestingly, saw Kaith there as well. So those are the 3 characters that I'm most familiar with and will probably be touching base with more often than not. Anise, Kaith, and Malice Sword Shadow. And I imagine some of the Astral Ward that we might have encountered in the previous expansion and some new characters along the way. But we're going to be heading there. What exactly we're going to be doing in terms of the enemy? At this time, I do not really know. However, if my lore classes are correct and my instructor is happy with my test results, I believe that this island, or these isles, and this territory was once home to the Mersat, ancient magic users who were fixated on Bloodstone and tapping into the magics of the Bloodstone. And what that might mean for the land can really be a myriad of things. Are we going to encounter Mersat? Are we going to encounter the echoes of the Mersat? Maybe ancient runes and magics that have kind of embedded themselves into the land. How has that shaped the land? And if the Mersat have been gone for so long, what has happened to their structures or their intentions and effects in the island, and how has it changed over time? Has the Astral Ward set up shop there and have been studying them? We will all soon find out. So that is going to be our overall story into the Janthir Wilds expansion. And with it, we'll get 2 maps at the start of the expansion, as we did with the previous Secrets of the Obscura expansion. And then along the quarterly updates, at quarterly update 2 and 3, we will get that 3rd map expansion so that we can all enjoy some more story and some more new environments to explore in the Isles of Janthir. Along with the actual maps in the Janthir Wilds, we're going to get access to spears. Every single profession in Guild Wars 2 will get the spear as their new weapon. However, they won't be using them the same way. Every profession, much like all of their other weapons, will approach that weapon with a unique viewpoint. Some professions might use it as a melee weapon, some might use it as a ranged weapon, and others might use them as a mixture of both melee and ranged combat weapons. And this is really exciting. My nightmare scenario was that everyone was just going to get one type of spear as like a mastery system or something, and that all of the abilities would be the same. I don't know why I thought that, but that was just like, I always prepare for the worst. But to hear that they are still going to be carrying along with every profession having their own tailored skill set is just absolutely beautiful. And I'm excited to see how Elementalist in particular is going to be interacting with the spear. I think Elementalist out of all of them could be the most opportune kit to play both melee and also rain. I could see some refinement in the way that I think we saw our ranger do like a leap attack, and it felt a little jarring. They can maybe refine some of the animations, but once again, this is not a finished final product. It's still technically in beta, I would guess. So maybe some work on some of the animations and just movement with the spear would be nice, but overall, it's looking really solid as it is. And then we get to some other topics. We get player housing. Player housing has been long requested and a long awaited feature. We've had things like the guild hall system included in the Heart of Thorns expansion, which was kind of a taste of player housing, but in a more guild centered way, and it was a grand scale system. Player housing will probably be much more approachable from one player just interacting with the system, and much more feasible and attainable, which I'm really happy about because, you know, guild halls were cool, but I think they were just a bit too grand for what the game of Guild Wars 2 really is, which is constantly on the move, and also guild systems were not really supported in the way to make them long-lasting and super meaningful. So while guilds are nice, I think this player housing homestead system is going to be much more successful, and I think they might have learned a lot from the guild hall system to better implement and update some of the decoration systems for player housing. And then of course we get Raid Wing number 8. Now this is more my area of expertise. I'm someone who loves endgame content and instance-based content, so hearing confirmation that we're getting endgame content on top of Raid Wing 8 is huge. It's huge to me, and I'm so excited to see how every boss plays and how we as a community interact with Raid Wing 8. And I hope that they will continue to improve back-end systems and maybe even completely overhaul systems such as the LFG to better sustain not only this new raid, but also previous strike missions, previous raids, and previous dungeons. I think it is about time that they create a more modern system that every single MMO player interacts with outside of Guild Wars 2, because we don't have that type of system yet. So that would be great to see. And then on top of this, we are getting a new improvement to the Warclaw. Now, when I heard that the Warclaw was getting more love and not one of the other mounts, I had originally predicted getting some more improvements to the Skimmer or maybe the Springer, or maybe even Jackal, but Warclaw was the last thing on my list. But to hear that the Warclaw is getting some added PvE movement utility is going to be great. A nice double jump system, and along with that, probably a way for PvE players to acquire the Warclaw. I imagine we're going to get the Warclaw in this expansion, and to see it have a different movement system and hopefully masteries with it is going to be cool. How far are they going to take that movement system? Is there going to be climbing? It is a cat, so I would love to see some like climbing stuff, but we'll have to see. And those are really all of the high-level looks at this expansion for Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds. We got the Janthir Isles, new story features, new storylines. We got spears for every single profession, a mixture of how professions use the spears. We have player housing, also known as Homesteads, and we have confirmation of Raid Wing number 8, and on top of that, Warclaw improvements. That's pretty juicy. That's some pretty juicy content. On top of all the other things we've come to know and love. Strike missions, fractals, meta events, dynamic events, collections, new armor sets, new weapon sets, new just convenience and quality of life features that get updated into the game just usually whenever they feel like it, whenever it's ready. So this game is continually being improved upon and refined, and I think that is beautiful. Once again, if you'd like to pre-order and pre-purchase Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds, you can head on down below into the description box to pre-purchase and pre-order using my link. It greatly helps me out and the channel, so thank you so much. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And you can also head on over to Patreon, where you get early access to videos and some exclusive videos along the way, especially now we're getting into the cycle of Guild Wars 2 Expansion 5, which is so fun to say. It's only been a year and we're already in another expansion. Huge, major, lovely. Keep an eye on the channel because we have more videos talking about each of these features in more depth, where I go into the trailers, I go into player housing, my thoughts about Raid Wings and LFG. So if you're interested, feel free to stick around. And other than that, I'll see you all in the next video. And maybe I'll see you all in the Isles of Janthir. I better hope. I better see you in the Isles of Janthir. Come on now. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Mwah.